that ghetto love. Ghetto love, ghetto love. Take me away from the cares of this world. No worries, no problems, because I'm your girl. That ghetto love. Ghetto love, ghetto love. Ghetto love.
In the ghetto. 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 In the ghetto.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Pam's World. Yes, 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 and yes, some more. Welcome. It is so good to be back in your face. Yes, yes, yes. We missed you last week.
Yes, we did.
We was not here. We was actually just JB had some time off. I actually was in the bed a little bit. Was a little under the weather. I was in the bed for 3 days. Oh, just looked up and seen that our girl got on. Hey, shout out to Dorothy Denise. What's going on, Pastor? We love you. Yes, yes, yes. Come
Praying
through here.
for you.
Yes, yes, indeed. So listen, welcome, welcome, welcome to Pam's World. I don't know why I'm smiling so hard. My cheeks hurt right now. You know how like when you smile so hard? You know why? Because I got a lot to smile about. I'm
Yes,
here,
God.
JB, and God is so good, and we are back, Pam's World, stronger than ever. Yes, yes, yes. So listen, I got my girl to my right of me. JB, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you doing all right?
Yes, God.
Yeah, y'all should have seen her. I'm so glad she in the building. She's been doing a lot. JB is on her grind. She working out. She back in the gym. She going hard, doing her thing at work, ministry, and Simply Joyce. If you do not know,
wow.
JB on sports. She's doing all types of things right now, and yet she's sitting next to me, coffee free. She ain't had no coffee today. And so listen, it's going down tonight. We having a good time. We are here.
Yes, God.
We are up in here, and we are thankful. Thank you for tuning in to Pam's World. And if this is your first time, please let somebody know that they
right.
gotta watch Pam's World.
That's right.
Because
share.
all right, JB, that's what I'm talking about. Share to the share to the share. And then plus two, shout out to the Cowboys because they playing right now. Eagles, they just tied it up a little bit, but it's not going.
Y'all winning right now. 9-16. Y'all got 16. Y'all got 16.
Somebody say something for me one time.
Say fly, Eagles fly.
They going the other way because the Giants trying to make it so that they can stay in. No.
That's right.
Getting up out of here this time. All right, so yes, I definitely want to make sure to those. If this is your first time, yes, this is Pam's World, Pam's Thought, Pam's Views. We have a good time here. Yes, you know what? I always say it. I always say that this is not a gospel show, but you are going to hear the gospel because that's exactly what we live our lives upon, based upon the truth of God's word. And so you're gonna leave here with something. You're gonna laugh. You might cry. You might get a little upset with some of my views. You know what? And then sometimes JB and we be like, I gotta learn something. JB is teaching me a whole lot that opinions. Everybody does have one because I'm not used to that.
Yes,
but
we all do.
being with my girls, I've learned how to be very used to that, and it's a good thing. So listen, thank y'all again for tuning in to Pam's World. And listen, I'm gonna put a little something behind me right about now. You know how you have your music that you vibe to in the background.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they do. They call it a little move music. So I'm gonna put some move music on right now, and I want to talk about church today. I want to slide right into. Did you go to church today? Yo, listen, I had an opportunity today to work with the babies, and we got an opportunity to talk about the mercies of God. And we talked about how God's mercies are new every morning, that his compassions faileth not, and great is his faithfulness. And that we came from Lamentations chapter 3, verses 22 and 23, if you want to check that out for yourself. Listen, as I begin to talk to the kids today about mercy, JB, I was trying to do everything that I can. I was like, all right, God, you got to help me with this one. You got to help me to really help them to understand what mercy is. And so I had one of the kids in class by the name of Malachi. I told him to take my finger. And remember the game Mercy?
Oh, yes.
So I told him, I said, bend my finger until I tell you to stop. And he just looked at me. And I said, it's okay. I said, I'll tell you when to stop. And so he began to bend my finger, and he bent it back. I mean, he was and I was like, do it harder. I was like, keep going. And I finally said, mercy. And when I said it, he let me go immediately. And I said, that's exactly what God does to us. I said, is that he shows us mercy, and it's new every morning, no matter what, you know what I mean? And I was just like, mercy is just like, it's like basically somebody stop, not wanting you to feel the pain, right? And so Sheila, another special baby in the class, says to me, she's just like, that's like when my mommy was going to beat me and then she didn't. She showed me mercy. And I was like, that's exactly what I said. Your mommy showed you mercy.
Yes, she did.
And then another one, oh, this was so dope. Nakaya says to me, she says, okay, so she said, when I was in pre-K, I learned the songs of the week, because I said God's mercies are new every day, right? So she began to sing Sunday, Monday. I can't remember the cadence of how she sung it. And she said, that's my way of remembering that God's mercies are new every day. I was done. I said, okay, God, I'm thinking I'm coming in here to teach the babies about mercy, and they're teaching me today. So it was just like, just for you to know that God's mercies, they are new every morning. We don't deserve it. We do not deserve it. We don't deserve it at all. And we begin to also talk about his compassion. And because it said his compassion faileth not. And I asked them if they knew what compassion meant. And Malachi, he's the eldest in the class, and he said to me, he said, what does that mean? And I the only way that I can explain it, and I thank God for it, I said, do you know that when you and Nakaya get to see your baby sister Victoria when she comes, I said, you're gonna be like, oh, I said that's like having compassion. I was like, Shishi, when you saw your new puppy, I was like, you was like, oh. And I said, and that's how God is with us. It's like God is just like, oh, like I don't want to do this to you, so I'm going to show you my mercy, but don't you take it for granted. Don't you take it for granted. Just because I didn't do anything on Tuesday, you think you're going to do it on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and you think I'm not going to say nothing? God is like, yo, I'm saying all because I want you to understand, look, I still see you. I'm showing you mercy. Get it together. So today was really awesome. I learned so much from the babies today. JB, was you in church today? Come on, talk to me.
Yes, I was. I was. But there's kind of 2 church services today. So I'm trying to focus on the first one.
Yes, come on, JB.
But Minister Allen came with the word today, and it was really it was really powerful. It was on point, and it was also too something like I felt like each person had a different perspective on what was being said a little bit. But it's like it's something because one of the people he was talking about was Peter. Okay. And how Peter came to God's defense, and then Jesus' defense, and he that's when Jesus told him, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Right. And you would think he was doing a good thing. You would think he was working to protect and save and help his friend. Right. And I have been referred to as Peter in pastor's life. Right. Yes. Quite a few times. Yes. And it's all at first I used to be like, yeah, don't nobody mess with Papa, but then I realized that I've developed into different phases of Peter. Right. And so when Minister Allen was speaking on this, it kind of was something that I was self-reflecting on, like, will I be able to be there regardless of what being there is? Wow, like pretty much like when
Jesus.
Jesus
Woo.
Jesus
That's
told
good.
the disciples that he had to go through this. He had
That's
to finish
good.
this.
Jesus.
And
Woo.
there's so
Come
many
on,
things
JB.
that I don't
Wow.
want my friend
To have to go
to
through.
go through.
Yes.
And
Wow.
I felt like when he was speaking today, he was speaking directly to me.
Jesus, come
Because
on,
there's
JB.
some things
Oh,
that
give me
Pastor has
chills.
dealt with or Pastor is dealing with that I want to step in and I want to do some things.
Right.
And it's not really my place to do, because sometimes she has to go through it, or
Wow.
she may have to deal with something in order to finish what it is that God has for her.
Woo.
So
Come on,
I
JB.
took what was
This is
being
good.
said very personal, because I feel like I dropped the ball, or I feel like I'm not there. I feel like I can't do. And then I
Jesus.
felt like today God was trying to remind me that there are some things that you're not supposed to do. There's some things that you're supposed to just be there for.
Jesus.
So today's word was like I said, I'm certain everybody gravitated to a different piece,
Yes.
but that was the piece that I gravitated to. It's like the good, the bad, all of these things are necessary in order,
Right.
like, Judas had to betray Jesus in order
Right.
for him to be
Jesus.
able to go through what was necessary in order to save us.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So we can't prevent that thing. And I've been a person that's been trying to prevent things. I've been a person that's tried to not allow things to happen. And
Right,
then
JB.
sometimes things have to happen.
Right.
And
For the
there's
whole
a-
story to be complete is what you mean.
yes, and also too, maybe sometimes for just straight deliverance.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Wow.
if you keep saving somebody before they hit rock bottom, if you keep stepping in before they've learned the lesson that they need to learn,
Mhm.
then are you helping them
Right.
or are you hindering them?
Right, JB.
And
Wow.
so, like, I kind of, when I'm at church sometimes, I know it seems strange. In my head, I'm listening to the word, but in my head, God is already dealing with me
Right.
with different pieces that are, that
For you.
that point out
Yeah.
to me. So church was amazing today, because it definitely, like I said, there's not a service that I have been in where I haven't gotten something to
Mhm.
go back and either further dig into or further deal with. But
Yes.
today was it was great.
Wow, JB, that right there is amazing. Like, it's a beautiful thing how God is always speaking.
Yeah.
If we are really truly honestly listening, and that's all it takes is for us to have a heart that's willing to hear what he says, because some people say, God don't speak to you, you know what I mean? But if you truly have an ear to hear, you can hear him speaking. And that's awesome, and that's beautiful, dog. JB, I look forward. I can't wait to go and watch the sermon myself, and that right there, what you shared was truly something that's meaty. That's something that somebody, whoever it is that's watching, you could take that and you can live on that thing all week long,
Yeah, definitely. And
You
it's
really
like
can.
too, it's like, for me, it's like, how many of us have done that? I've done that with so many
Yes.
occasions. I mean, definitely with
Yep.
my friend and my
Come on.
pastor, but I've done that on so many occasions with my son. I've done
Yeah.
that on so many occasions with others. And I'm like,
Jesus, trying to say,
am I helping
Come
them
on.
or am I hurting them? And that's what that's the thing that stood out for me the most.
Jesus?
And then the things that they did that Jesus required of them. Remember, he required them to pray. I mean, like, what, to stand and pray while
Mhm.
he went to pray, and they
Yes.
fell asleep.
Right.
So, like, the things that I'm supposed to do, I'm
Yeah.
not doing, and the
Right.
things that I'm not supposed to be doing, I'm doing. So, I was definitely in a place today where I was self-reflecting and trying to make
God is
sure
good.
and asking God to order my steps, because there are times you're supposed to step up. There are
Yeah.
times you're supposed to do things.
Absolutely.
But then there also are times when you're supposed to allow what's necessary to happen, and that is something that I struggle with.
Yeah.
That's something that I struggle with today. So.
Yo, JB, it's almost like it's just like so many things that you can just like, you just take. It's like almost like you took the hammer and hit the head right on there. Bing. Time and place for everything, because that a pastor in training was talking about that last Sunday when she spoke about when she went back to Ecclesiastes chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know who brought it up first. I don't know if it was, she was saying that it was Minister Yakini of music that had brought it up.
Okay.
But I know that she was talking, she went to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and she began to read and talked about it's a time and a place for everything. There's a time to live and there's a time to die. There's a time to
Yes.
laugh and there's a time to mourn. Like, and it's just like, yo, and I'm giving these references from the Bible. If you would go and open up your word to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 from verses 1 to, I believe, 1 to 8 or 1 to 10, if I'm not mistaken, you can find out about the time and the place. It's being a time and a place for everything. And that's so true, because like you said, sometimes we always look to go and save instead of backing up. You know what I mean? It's just like,
or asking God what he wants us to do.
Come on.
And right now there's a situation with a person, and I feel like God told me to take my hands off.
Right. Jesus.
I feel like he told me, you've done everything that I've asked you to do. You've been very direct. You've been direct. You've been a person that's lend an ear. You've been someone that's gone out of your way. You've been somebody that has prayed. You've done all these things, and it's not being received. And so at a point, what else is there for me to do? So of course, in Joyce's world, Joyce would go and try to figure it out.
Right.
But I've heard him say to me, sometimes people have to learn their own lessons. And if I step in, and even if I do something to fix it and to, to stop their pain or whatever, what have I really done? Nothing. Have I helped them or have I hurt them?
Yep.
And when the word was going forth today, that was the thing that kept coming out. Like when Peter slashed off this man's ear, he wasn't helping Jesus. He was hurting him. You get what I'm saying? He was getting in the way of what was necessary for him to be able to finish this process or to finish what God has had him to do. So that really stood out to me today more than anything, that, we have to be conscious of why we are doing things and not being led by ourselves. Gotta call.
Yo, that's so good. Okay, hold on. We got a caller real quick. All right, caller, call back.
We lost you.
We lost you. I don't know if your phone dropped or what. I only saw it a couple of times. Please call back in. Listen, JB, the nuggets that you are dropping right now is just is jewels for days. It's just like sometimes, and I have been so guilty of being the one to rescue. You know what I mean? And when God is sometimes telling you, let them sink, because if you let them sink, they'll cry out to me. You know what I mean? Because it's just the same thing when Peter was walking on the water. Mm-hmm. He was walking on it, but he ain't called to his friends to help him. He called on the Lord. Yep. So it's just like, yo, like, that's so dope. All right, caller, here we go. We're going to talk to you real quick. Caller, talk to me. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Good. How are you, man?
I'm good. Hold on. Let me try to turn you up real quick. Hello?
Yeah, man. Yeah, good, man. Good. What's going on?
I'm good. You calling in? What's going on with you? Got something that you want to say?
Yeah, man. I just want to discuss, man, what y'all think of the wage gap, man. Well, I want to hear y'all thoughts on the wage gap.
You said that you... I'm sorry. It is so difficult.
We can barely hear you. You said you want to be a sponsor?
Hello?
Yeah, man. Sorry. Just a delay going on.
Hello?
I said, what you think of the wage gap, pay gap between men and women?
Oh, the wage gap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Okay, well, I mean, there shouldn't be one, right? The same job getting done, doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
So that's what I think about it. It shouldn't be one. What do you? I mean, I mean.
What you guys think of the sudden increase in chicken and watermelon prices?
I don't know about chicken or watermelon prices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, all right then.
All right.
Thank you for your call, man.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, caller.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. All right. Yes. Okay. Thank you for calling in, caller. And then also, just getting back, I definitely just want to just say, it's just like sometimes we find ourselves in a place where we are rescuing people when we are supposed to fall back. It's a time when we are pushing people away when we're supposed to hold on tight. Yes. So it's just like, JB, I really do thank you so much for your perspective. I thank you for sharing, because I know truly, truly, truly that blessed my soul, and I'm pretty sure somebody else was blessed by that as well too.
Yeah. And it's something that I guess we don't think about, but it was definitely something in the way that Minister Allen brought the word today that made that point stand out.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, JB. And you know what, JB? You know how we slide, and we're gonna slide a little bit. But JB, let's talk about who we got online today. All right, let's talk about who we got on.
I saw Felicia.
Come
Thank
on,
you, Felicia.
come on. Thank you. We appreciate you. I see Tiffany. I see Kiki Knight. I see Kelly.
Stephanie.
Come on. I see Camilla. I see Mike. I see Billy.
I saw Pastor Didi, of course.
Yes, I see Young Do. I see Alicia. I see Angela. I see John. I see you already know.
Kasha. I see Kasha.
Yes,
Hey,
come
Kasha.
on. All right, hey Kasha, what's going on? I see Angela. I see Scott. I see
Sarah. Hey, Sarah.
Tanya. I see Tanya. I see Prudence. I see James. I see Kim. I see Rock. You said Felicia. What's going on, Felicia? We see Terrence. We see Aretha. We see Troy.
I saw Tamsin.
We see
Hey,
Heather.
Tamsin.
We see everybody in the building. Everybody not in the club. You remember that? I was about to say everybody in the club. Nah. Everybody in the church being holy. All right, somebody, come on.
Mr. Alex said something today that was kind of funny too. I couldn't stop laughing. I got to watch it again just to laugh.
Oh my
all over
goodness.
again.
Oh God. Hey Carmen, how are you? What's going on, everybody? Yes. Again, welcome to Pam's World. You already know how it go down. Now we're gonna slide into some current events. JB, I wanna go right into it. I saw this gentleman. It was something that you sent me about this guy that actually is a plastic surgeon, and a woman walks into his office, and he said it was love at first sight. So but upon him saying love at first sight, he has made her into like his special Barbie doll. So it's the things that he he created a body, everybody. He created this body for her because she was going in to have a certain surgery done. And she was like, I know that he loves me, but he just doesn't love fat. But when she walked into the office, if you could see the picture of as what she looked like, she's still a beautiful woman, but she was thick. She was heavier, but now she looks like this Barbie doll. So my thing is that love at first sight, I think not. I think that he found somebody that was weak in the mind and that he can change and make them into what it is that they wanted. And now she believes that is love. I want to know what y'all say. JB, you are, from the tone of the way that I'm talking, you already know how I feel about this.
Yes.
So please, you talk to me. JB, love, not love. What is that?
I think love, but I mean, she went in there to change who she was. So you get what I'm saying?
But not everyday change. He's changing her all the time.
But what I'm saying is she went in there because she didn't like what she saw.
Jesus.
So she wasn't happy with herself. So she was easily swayed into doing this, right? So I don't feel like I do feel as though, she getting some free plastic surgery out of this. She's not paying for a thing. She looks amazing, and she looks happy with her decisions.
But the daughter, did you hear the 9-year-old daughter?
Yeah. Yeah, that, but the thing is, though, this is what this woman has chosen to do. Like, at first, when I first looked at it, I thought he was forcing this on her. But when I started to read it, I got the sense that he really didn't have to ask. This was something she was down to do. You know what I mean? Like, she looks happy that she's made these decisions.
But JB, she knows that if she gains an ounce of any pounds anywhere, he's going to put her under the knife, or either she got to go.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, though, she probably wants to be under the knife. And that's what I got from this, is the kind of like she was a willing participant in this. You know what I mean?
But she wasn't trying to look. She didn't say she's trying to look like a Barbie doll.
But also too, she didn't have the money. You get what I'm saying? How many people want to go into a place and they just don't have the money to do all of these extra things so they can do a little lipo? I can afford a little fat move from here, but I can't remove all this fat.
Right.
But now she doesn't have to pay for a thing. And also too, if you think about it, it's an easy way out. She don't have to probably work out. She probably don't have to go to the gym. What? I gained a couple pounds, chop it all off in about a month. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that to me, it appears that from what I've read is that she's a willing participant in this. Like she signed up for this almost. Like she doesn't like what she was seeing anyway. So this is her way of being able to, I don't know, like justify the means to it. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna ask this question, and I might get dinged for it. Somebody might really be upset with me. But what happened to the conventional way, JB? What happened to working out? What happened to going to the gym and sweating? My thing is that I know that everybody, sometimes there are issues that can lead to having surgery because of health wise.
Yes,
and I get that. But what happened? Why laziness? Why everybody feel like, yo, I just go and get it cut off, or I'll go get it added? What is that to me? What is that, JB?
But it's like, that's the way of the world. I mean, in all honesty, everybody wants things now. So working out is not a quick fix. If you go under the knife, you are size 2 tomorrow.
But there's no guarantee that, JB, that leads to complications.
No, nobody said it didn't. But what I'm saying is, there's no. Okay, I want to be a size 2. No, this is not true. Please, I'm just saying.
Right.
I want to be a size 2.
Right.
That means that I gotta go to the gym and work out like a crazy person to be a size 2. Right.
Get it in.
Or I could go to this magic doctor and they could suck out all this fat, make my waist singe, make me look like Kim Kardashian in a matter of a week, and all I gotta do is heal. So, which way is easy? And for some people, they will go the easier way. To me,
even if it leads to death.
Yeah, but everything could lead to death. Now people can eat a bag of lettuce and nigga die.
Jesus,
I'm just saying, it's like
right.
people are taking extreme measures because people have gotten to the point where they look for the quick fix.
Everybody lazy.
But it's not even just being lazy sometimes. It's the quick fix. Everybody does the quick fix. Like, people want to be rich tomorrow. People want to be rich tomorrow. People want to be skinny tomorrow. People want to be tall. People want to be, you know what I mean? People are looking for the quick fix. And to the point where they've done more damage to themselves.
Yes.
I mean, like, for me,
yes,
plastic surgery is not a option. Now, if I was badly disfigured by a fire or something like that, I'm not saying different. That maybe I would think about it, but for me, it's not an option. The reason why for me is because the risk of going underneath the knife, infections and all this stuff is not worth it. Also too, I love me.
Yep.
I love me.
Yes, you do. And
so if I gotta lose some weight,
praise God,
let's work on it. But right now I'm a lot of extra fat. Right. You know what I mean? But I love me. Yes, and the thing is, I'm okay with me. And a lot of people who go to these extreme measures, there is some insecurities within themselves. So this woman, even though she was attractive, she didn't feel as though she was attractive. She felt like there were issues with her that led her to go into a plastic surgery office in the first place. Jesus. And I mean, look at you look at Little Kim. I'm going to use an example. Little Kim. If you look at Little Kim when she first came out, she was all sexy. Everybody thought she was a confident woman. Yeah. When you look at what she has done to herself, obviously you know now that she was not a confident woman. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. She was not confident in who she was. Jesus. She had a lot of insecurities. She may think she looks better, but she looks so much worse than she did when she first came out. Yeah. And to some people, they would say, oh, she should never did it. She never did that. She never did this. But if she didn't like what she saw when she looked in the mirror and she was looking for that quick fix, she was trying to make everybody buy her records or whatever, whatever her reasonings were, lightening her skin, because that was one of the main things, lightening her skin. She didn't like her complexion. If you don't like what you're going to see, people are going to change it nowadays. And it's become so acceptable that it's like, it's easier than working out. It's better. It's easier than doing all these other things. And these people now, you got all these, like in Africa, where these people are washing and bathing in skin lightening cream. If they could pay somebody to lighten their skin, if they could do that, you don't think they would do that? So it's like a quick fix. We are like a microwave society, like where people want things now. So in this case, I feel like that's what she went for.
Dog, JB.
And that's laziness. You're right.
Dog. You know what? Being a person that it has taken, I would say, because it didn't start when I was a little girl. Because when you young, you have no unless somebody tells you anything different, you have no reason to think anything bad about yourself.
You don't.
You know what I mean? But as I begin to get older, I would say I'll just put it, for 20 plus years, I'll say it like that. It took me such a long time to be comfortable in my own skin, to love me, to begin to love myself. And I thought that I didn't have anything else besides my body. I didn't think I had anything else more than my hair. And until God started to tell me to cover those things up and to change my hair. You know what I mean? And I'm like, God, hold on, wait a minute, no more perms. What you mean? Like, that's I don't want to do natural. You know what I mean? I don't deem myself to have like a bad grade of hair, but I felt like I did because my hair was, I like it straight. I don't want my hair curly, guy. I don't want the curl pattern. I don't want the curl pattern, guy. I don't want to find out what if I got the 1. I don't want the 2, 3 or 4. No, but when he began to take those things away from me, I really had to go deep to really find out who I was. And these things that we have, the microwave, we want it right now thing, it's like you still are lost. It's still it's not you. You know what I mean? It's not you at all. It's things that's been created and was put on you, but it's not you. You know, so it's just like, JB, I had to find me. I had to find out the person that I was trying to not see. I had to learn how to love her. And it's just like, that's the same thing that I would say to somebody else. You got to learn how to love yourself, regardless of what you put on. Yes. If you go and put on a mask, if you go and the doctor change your body to Kim Kardashian, as JB always said, if you don't get to the root and if you don't deal with the inside, I don't care what you put on, you'll never, ever be complete. You'll never ever be whole. You'll never ever love yourself. All you will do, you will be this. You can be somebody's trophy. You can be somebody's whatever, and you can front all day long, but you will never get an opportunity to love who you really are.
Very true. And nobody will ever really love you because you don't know who you are.
Come on, JB.
And that's that. I mean, to me, this is not uncommon. Like, what's her name? Nicole Ari Parker and her husband. They have a thing in their marriage vows that they need to look a certain way. Like, that's part of their thing.
Are you serious?
Yes. And they both agreed to this.
Serious?
They both agreed to this. Oh. Like, you know, they married this person in this type of, you know, they look a certain way.
Frame, the way that the body look and all of that.
You know, but I mean, in some cases, you know, people do get married and they completely let themselves go. But this was like a clause in their thing. And I kind of found that kind of comical.
Vanity.
But
and that's vain.
But if they're open and honest and if this is their truth, then that's their truth.
But JB, is that not vanity and that's not vain?
But again, if they're open and honest and if this works for them, then this works for them.
So you get a belly, I'm out.
But what I'm saying is, if this is what they both agreed to, and
you can't help me work on getting my belly off.
I'm not saying they're not helping each other. See, that's the piece. I'm not saying that they're not helping each other. They could be working out every day together. But I'm just saying is, this was one of the clauses in their wedding. Like they couldn't gain I forget. I'm gonna look it up because it was a deal when they said it. Like, it was a big deal, and I was like, yo, who
right?
Says that?
Because you already know, JB. I'm looking at you. I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, because I know that you my girl and you not going. JB, do you know if somebody said that to you, you gonna be like, yo, Joker, up the road. Keep moving.
But see, the thing is, somebody said that to me. I'm gaining the weight, and I'm like, bye. You get what I'm saying? But also too, I know me. That's not a clause for me.
Right. That's
you get what I'm trying
to
say. That wouldn't be a thing for me because I'm not really beat on 100% of only appearance. Right. And I'm not saying that that's what it is, but that was one of the things that they both said. Both of them. It wasn't something that he said to her or they both said it to each other. I'm gonna look
to me, like, JB.
But it was a big deal when they said it because this is around the time they had their show. They had like a talk show.
Yo, listen, if you gain weight, I'm out.
Like, it was kind of like about putting all your things up front, like, you know, giving your best to your mate. That's the way they kind of sold it.
But I can understand that. conversation, but we gonna put it on paper. That's
Yeah.
contract.
It
Like
was-
that's
it
like
was-
yo, like
it
judge.
was-
You go before the judge. Listen, clause number 10. It says that if she gained 20 pounds, he gained 20 pounds. I'm out. He 25. I'm out of here. Like yo, JB, and that's grounds for divorce. Like for real. Like that'll hold up in court.
Well, I'm just saying this is what they wrote. I don't know what it holds up to.
Sips water.
But it was kind of interesting, and it was like when it was said, it was like a big deal. You know how like people start like wow, it was like a thing like that. But yeah, they had a thing about weight and not letting yourself go, like making sure you're giving your mate your best.
Yo, listen, look, I understand when you in a relationship. Okay, let's just talk about this. Just being honest. JB, when I first got into a relationship, of course, I'm going in the relationship say if I was 135, right? I'm 135 going into a relationship. I get to 145. Could I not be just happy? Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you gain happy weight, you know, when you get married and stuff. I'm not talking about.
I guess he doesn't want her to be happy. I mean, what I'm saying is like we started off saying, like it's different things for different people. Like in this case, they're both happy being plastic. You know what I mean? They're both happy being made to order, so to speak. And in their case,
that's good.
They both work out because you see the videos and stuff on Instagram or whatever, but their body is their job. You know what I mean? Like it lands them movies, it puts them in positions and things like that. But it's also too about like giving your best to your mate, and this is their version of best.
Yo, JB,
So-
you just hit it on it. Well, you said made to order.
But that's with plastic surgery nowadays. That's what it is. You know, you have people go in and they say, "I want Angelina Jolie's lips and I want so and so's thighs." You know, next thing
done.
you know, you don't look like yourself anymore.
That is something.
But that's true. Like they show these. You know, I've watched a couple of these. Botched and some of these reality shows.
So that's how they say it. Like they go
there
in.
are people who've come in with pictures of celebrities. They want this or they want this or they want that. Like look at like Black China. Like I think she must have went in and said, "I want Kim Kardashian hips." You know what I mean? Or I want this. And they show these people coming in with these pictures and they want to look like these celebrities. Like there's this white guy who wants to be a Ken doll, and he's had so many surgeries to look like Ken.
I know that's right,
This
Felicia.
man looks like plastic. Like and he's happy. He now I think he had some fake abs.
I'm so sorry because
put
I
in.
don't mean to laugh, but JB, when you say he look like plastic, Jesus, like what are you
He looks
doing
like,
to yourself?
But he straight looks like plastic. I mean, like if you've seen him, just say Google human Barbie doll and human Ken doll.
Are you
and
serious?
you'll see these women. It's a man and a woman that both paid a lot of money to look like these plastic dolls. And they look like these plastic dolls. Look like they can't even really move their face. But they are happy and they paid to look like that.
Done. Oh goodness. I can't. I'm
Yeah,
done.
they
I'm over
paid
here.
to look
I'm
like
done.
that.
I'm so done right now. 'Cause
And you be
I can't.
and
I can't.
we don't think so, but I mean people pay to look like what they
Yo,
want now. Like
I
you know what I
can't.
mean? Like it's not like
Has to
you know how you say
hollering right
you're
now.
born a certain way and you're just happy with what you were born with. Well, you know,
Yeah.
I like what my mama gave me. No,
Right.
now if you don't like what your mama gave you, you go back, you fix it.
You go and fix it, dog. You can order it up. JB said
Yeah.
it's like ordering. Yes, I'll. Can I get a Kim Kardashian hip to go with Angelina Jolie lips with let me see. Dolly Parton is a little bit too big for me bust wise. Let me see if we can bring it down just a little bit to Black China, and yeah, I want my abs to look like just flat. I don't want the muscles in it. So you can go and order yourself up like that.
You can, but then
That's
the thing
crazy.
is though, you can't eat.
That's crazy.
Because if you're not a person that don't work out and all that type of stuff, you can get all that stuff done, and then the weight grows back in disproportionate places.
Yes, it
because
does.
You've
Yeah.
had certain
Have you
things.
seen that before?
Yeah.
Yes, JB.
It grows
like,
in places that it
Yes.
really shouldn't. So then they just go get more surgery. So, but what I'm
That's crazy.
it's
God
sad,
help
but
us.
this
Jesus.
is where we are. I mean, you look at people and their foreheads don't move anymore. Like
Yes.
that's scary.
Yeah,
if I look
that-
at people who foreheads don't move,
It's
I'm like,
that Botox they put.
yeah,
they put them shots.
But the thing is, if you looked at what Botox is, you're putting a foreign chemicals in
Jesus.
your body, and you don't even really know the
What that
long-term
is.
effects of these things.
Jesus.
Just like when women were getting breast implants, and then when they started bursting and causing all types of problems in their bodies and stuff like that, or people whose body frames couldn't support certain things. It's like, you got what you wanted.
Right. Yo, listen. Yep. Pastor said to your ankles. Yep. Yep. The weight. Yep. It does. And then you got they don't even look real no more. For real.
Yeah. They look disproportionate.
Absolutely.
And it's sad.
Yep. And Kiki said, I bet behind closed doors they're still not happy because they keep going under the knife. Yep. Absolutely.
Very
That's
true.
Exactly what.
Very
exactly
true.
what Joyce said. And it's just Kelly said, yes, I saw. She said she saw the God.
Yeah,
she said
he looks
plastic.
ridiculous.
Jesus, that's crazy. That is something. Like, yo, it's something. It really is something. It's sad, and I really hope people really truly come to the place where it's just like, look, you might not be everybody's thing, but it's somebody for everybody. You know what I mean?
True.
And it's just like, for the most part, and even if it's not for somebody else, learn to love yourself because you love yourself. You know what I mean? And because that's where it starts. JB, that's what you always say. You have to love you first before anybody else can love you.
Very true. And then if you don't, then you got this. Then you got, people trying to make you, and you allowing them to make you what they want.
Wow.
Because you're not secure in who you are.
Wow. Kelly said it becomes an addiction.
Yes, you'll see so many people, like if you ever watch those shows like Botched and some of those reality shows for plastic surgery, you'll see these people have come back 5, 6, 7, 8 times to have surgery on the same body parts. Like it's one transvestite, and I felt horrible for them. But they had silicone or whatever put in their face. And the person who did it used something that wasn't correct because they were being cheap at the time. But he had all these bumps and things in their face. So the botch people, they fixed it.
Really?
But they told them that they can do this, but these things may come back. And when they come back, they were like rocks in his face. So they fixed his face. And then, of course, he had to come back and have his done again. But, for a few minutes, he had high cheekbones. Right. Like he has rocks forming like I mean, I know it's not funny, but he had like these rocks all over his face. He looked scary. But for a few months of high cheekbones, what was wrong with you that you needed to do that?
Yo, it's something. It really is something. And it's just like, Kasha made a comment. She says she may eventually be addicted to getting surgeries now. Yeah, that lady that we was talking about, truly is
Boris
the case.
Kojo, here it is, y'all. Boris Kojo says gaining too much weight in marriage. This was his thing. Boris Kojo says to his wife of nearly 8 years, the beautiful Nicole Ari Parker, has to keep it right and tight.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I told you. I know. I read that someplace. But yes, it's an article where it talks about they had a weight. It's a marriage deal breaker. Boris Kojo says gaining too much weight is a marriage deal breaker.
That's, you know what? Kudos. How you say kudos? Kudos to his wife for actually, signing up for that. And like you said, JB, if it's right for them, if it's good for them, then hey, listen. But at the end of the day, look, no.
But this is what I'm saying. For them, it was okay because she'd agreed to that. Yeah. But that was a marriage deal breaker. Now I don't know what his example of too much weight is. You know what I mean? I don't think it's 5 pounds, but it does say, he says, Boris Coach, like she has to keep it right and tight.
So what happens when she have kids,
She does have 2.
Exactly.
But she's still keeping it right and tight.
Okay. So I guess he was just like, you better get that. You better work right that off. Tight. You better work.
She is right and tight.
Oh man, y'all already know. All right, so what we gonna do, we gonna slide. Hey, listen, shout out to our bro Kof. What's going on, bro? What's going on? Kof said,
Allen.
What's going on with you though? Listen, you JB, I want to talk about your boy. I can't even say his name right, but old boy that got the show. And that was stepping out on his wife. JB, come on, you because you sent me the joint. What's the name of kid?
Oh, the one that does that show Love Is.
Yeah. Talk to us about that, because JB, you already know where I'm at. I just can't pronounce his name all the way right. I don't want to be wrong, so I'm gonna slide it a little bit.
It kind of his situation is like someone is coming back after some time. So I don't know how true or how valid whatever this is. But there was a person allegedly, yes. Right. Allegedly, there is a person that has come out and said that he stole the idea of the show first. Right. And then I guess once he didn't give credit, then came out this, abuse and stepping out on his wife.
Peeing in her mouth. Didn't she say something about that, disrespecting her and having sex and all of that stuff?
Yes, this was all
disgusting. Allegedly.
I don't know how true this is so far yet. Just because of the basis of where it started from money grab. It appeared to be like a money grab at first, saying like they created this show and then this other thing came out. It wasn't like the abuse came out.
Stole her idea.
Yeah. It wasn't like the abuse came out first. It was kind of like, you stole my idea, and then when that didn't take weight, I guess, then it became the abuse story. And it's so sad because the show Love Is it was an excellent show. I mean, it's shows black love. It was really cool, and you hear about the story of them and how they got married and all that type of stuff. You were sitting back like, wow, this is an amazing show, and it's on OWN. And he also is the creator of that craziness, Black Lantern. I don't watch that show, but my son does, and it's just it's just sad, that this is what. Yes, yes, she did.
Yes, I did say that, Felicia.
It's just sad that this is what this show is going to be known for.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Because to me, the show was amazing because it showed black love. I mean, like, it showed it in all kinds of ways, all types of forms, ages, and it was just a really good show. And it comes on the OWN network, so anybody who doesn't know, it's called Love Is. It's on OWN network, and his name is like Salim Akil or something like that. But it's sexual and domestic violence and breach of contract is what he's being sued for. And what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think he's being attacked because he's black, or do you think there's credit to this? Or because to me, the only thing that bothered me about this was the fact that the abuse part came out only after you stole my idea part.
Right. You know what, JB? Honestly, it is alleged. It's something that's allegedly. But I can also say when I read it, I'm not even gonna front, I believed it. Reason being is because sometimes, and I'm not saying this for him, I hope that it's really not the case, but there are some times that I've seen personally people who are in high positions, they feel like you can belittle people. And I've seen it for myself. There were guys, I didn't see it for myself. The conversations that you hear. There was one guy, celebrity, sleeping with mad women. He talked about how he choked some women while having sex. And the question was asked of him, yo, what'd you do that for? Or I slapped a woman, or I peed on her, or whatever. It was asking him, why did you you like stuff like that? Nah, I just did it because I wanted to see if they would let me, and they did. They ain't say nothing, so I did it. So when I read this, it wasn't something that was foreign to me. So for her to say that he urinated in her mouth, to me, I was just like, oh, I can see something like that. And hopefully it's not his case. But because of what I've heard, and it's just like, and they get off on stuff like that. But you know what I mean? You hear them get off on stuff like that.
You do know that people do that, and they, people do that. Like that's a fetish of some
that's
people.
a fetish of some people. But it was just like he was like, nah, that ain't something. He's like, I just did it because he's like, they let me. I wanted to see if I could do it. And it was just like, it was like kind of like real jerkish. You know what I mean? Like you're like, and that's when I was younger. Like you're a jerk. Like you would do something like that to a female, like just because of the fact that you're this so-called quote unquote celebrity. And it was just like, so when I read that about what he did, I was like, you know what I mean? It was very nasty to me. It
Why
was
did
like
she let him do it?
disgusting. Maybe she wasn't expecting the pee. But, you know, you could obviously see that she was she did have it in a place where it was in her mouth. Like you got it was. So it's just like honestly. So but for the most part, it's just like like.
But see, but that's my thing. Is like okay. There are some women that I formerly knew that would do things like this. This was their thing. Like they got,
Right.
people talked about showers and, you know, people talked about stuff like that.
Jesus.
Now that's not my thing. I never did that type of stuff. I just think of it as like, crazy. Yes. That's the best word that I could say. Hallelujah, Jesus.
Yes,
crazy.
JB.
But there are people who get off on that, men and women. So like I said, my only issue is this. Only issue with this is not the first season of this show. Right?
Right.
And I feel as though this is coming at a point where it's like, all right, did he abuse you? Then why are we, and this is for all abuse. If you've been abused, come out, say it. When it's happening. You know what I mean? I'm not discounting people who come late because they felt like they didn't have a voice. That's not what I'm saying. But in this case, I feel like you came out about the show first. Money. Then when that didn't take the root, you know what I mean? Because I didn't hear anything. And then when the abuse claim came, that's when I started to see the articles about it. And it just struck me because they just won an Image Award. They just started, you get what I'm saying? They just started getting some fame to this show and to this program and to this platform. Now this, and it's just like, I just really wish that if this is the case, it gets addressed and it's addressed correctly, right? Because sometimes too, people will have sex with you and they will do certain things with you because they want a particular thing, and then when they don't get it, now it's abuse, right? Or now, you've been sleeping with this man knowing he had a wife, and now because you're not getting the money or you're not getting the fame for this show that you think you created or say you might have allegedly created, now it's a problem. He's been married the whole time, so it's like little things like that where I'm not sure, and this story didn't really give all of the and I feel like because it's a surface story, it wasn't in detail of everything that went on yet. Right. So I just feel like once this plays out, we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah, JB, you know what? It's to me, it's I definitely get what you're saying, because it's just like it can be something like, okay, is it because you didn't get what you wanted out of the situation? And then too, it can be one of those, you know how sometimes somebody can string you along, like you get the string along. Yeah, you can get the string along, like, all right, when such as I'm gonna make sure that you get X, Y, and Z. But when your name wasn't called, it's just like, oh, so you don't intend on saying nothing. Correct.
Okay. And now it's a problem. Yeah. And that's the way this story reads to me.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just waiting for some of this to kind of come out and everything, be said and get out there, because right now the way this story reads to me, it doesn't hold that credibility yet, because it feels like this is like, okay, I can't get this, so I'm going after you this way.
Wow. And it's sad. It's sad on both ends, because if it's true and it's something that went on like that, that's terrible. Yes. You know what I mean? And we see it that way here. You know what I mean? We see it absolutely that way. And then too, if it's because of the fact that you didn't get what you wanted, now you're going to come out with abuse. That is absolutely terrible as well too. So it's just like, all the best in the midst of the situation. We hope that the truth does come out. Amen. It's just like, JB, those words rang to me. I was just like, that's why immediately I was like, oh, for real, like you really gonna, like you gonna do something like that? Like
R. Kelly was caught on tape. And he's still doing the foolishness. So. And people still accepting it. This is what I mean.
What is that?
People are people
Like JB, like, yo, what is that? Like, yo.
But what I'm saying is, knowing everything you know, everything that you saw, everything that you've seen, everything. I mean, him marrying Aaliyah.
Come on.
All of these things tell you that he's not on the up and up.
Come on.
So I don't support him.
No.
I don't play his. No, don't get it twisted. If somebody's playing his music, he does have some good songs. I will listen. When I mean don't support, I mean I don't go to his concerts.
Yes.
I don't buy his music. I don't download it on YouTube. I don't play it on iTunes because they get credit for that.
I had to let the step go.
I don't do none of that. And the reason why is because I don't support him. But what happens is we act like these people aren't who they are.
Jesus.
And you don't have women that are okay with what they want to do. So I don't know. Like, I hope the details come out about this. I hope this story gets to the point where it makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I pray for her. I pray for him. I pray for the wife, because the wife appears to be the innocent bystander in all of this at this point.
Yeah. And I can only imagine what that feels like. Do they have children, JB?
I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Wow. Well, y'all already know. We're about to slide. Sometimes we get caught up in these current events. You know, sometimes I be sending JB mad stuff, and it's just like sometimes we only get the one, because we be all the way in. We be in on Pam's World. All right, y'all. Y'all already know what time it is. It is time for my girl. You see her with the. She got the wrong hat on. Dog, she need the cowboy hat on right about now. Listen, it is time for my girl J to the B on sports. I always tell y'all, any dude that try to come up against her in sports, you gonna lose. Check out my girl J to the B. Jay, what's up with you?
All right, everybody. Hey. Y'all know the Knicks is doing their thing. Y'all know. Y'all love that hat, right? I know we lost to the Nets the other day. Don't hold that against me. You know, we're a team in rebuild progress. All right? We're a team in rebuild progress. But what I will tell you is that the Giants won today. And you know what? We won without OBJ. That just made my whole heart smile, because I am really tired of him today. You know, the last couple of weeks, he's been getting on my nerves because he keeps talking. He just does not know when to be quiet. And from the moment he came to the Giants, don't get it twisted, I like the one-handed catch. I like when he makes us win. I do. And I will say that anybody that knows me as a Giants fan knows that I am not a huge fan of OBJ's. And the main reason why is because football is not about one player. Yeah. It will never be about one player. Yeah. You need more than a wide receiver. He cannot win the game alone. So all his talk and all that, and then he did all that talk, and then he missed passes. He dropped balls. So you got to be perfect if you're going to talk trash, right? So today we won without him. And you know what? I really like Barkley, and everybody who knows me knows that I was not a fan of the Giants picking Barkley overall. Using the number 2 pick for the for a running back. And the main reason why is because the Giants had no offensive line. They had a lot of holes. They had a lot of issues. And the wear and tear on someone who has no O-line to block for them is going to hurt him and affect him, right? And running backs, you can get a dime a dozen nowadays. You know, come on. Le'Veon Bell was a holdout. And he was the best running back in the league, right? The Steelers not really missing him. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by where sometimes the running back, don't get twisted. I love Saquon. Please, I'm very happy with him being on the Giants. Please don't. I love his game. I like his demeanor. I like him as a person. But I really would not have picked him as a number 2 pick because he's a running back. So I say all that to say, Saquon and Eli, we won today, y'all. So y'all check it out. The Giants 40. Y'all see that? 40 points.
Who they play?
And no OBJ. We played the Redskins. You know, we know they had a run. You know, we know they don't have Smith and all that type of stuff. We get it. But come on, 40 points from a quarterback that y'all said is over, right? With a makeshift O-line that made a little bit of change. No OBJ and a Barkley. Come on, y'all can't tell me Eli's done. I am going to forever say that. until y'all stop kicking his back in. All right? Stop kicking Eli back in. All right? We won today, y'all. So embrace it. The Titans also won today. The Browns won today. The Browns beat Cam. Y'all, I don't know.
They beat Cam?
Yeah, they beat the Panthers. The Panthers, I don't know. I think y'all going to be on the outside looking in this playoff season.
Wow.
So y'all tell Cam to dress down, stop dressing like a little clown that he dressed like half the time. The Chiefs won today, so that means the Ravens lost. Oh,
I love the way he dressed. He been looking crazy lately? Because I used to love the way he dressed.
What did you see them Versace pants he wore on the plane?
No.
Okay, I gotta show you some pictures. That man dressed like a clown. All right, the Texans lost, so that means the Colts won today. Dolphins beat the Patriots, y'all. That means the Patriots have lost. I really believe that they have lost their home field. They might not even make it to the Super Bowl this year. I don't even know if they're gonna make it to the AFC championship game. So I'm just so excited with the Patriots losing. Y'all have no clue how happy that makes me. Right? I already told y'all that the Saints won today. The Saints beat the Bucks. All right. We have I don't know what this means because Green Bay won after they fired their coach. I almost feel like Rodgers didn't want to win to make sure that his coach got fired because they beat the Falcons today, and the Falcons is a far better team than who they lost to last week. So I feel some kind of way about that, but I think he got his way. His coach is gone, so the Packers won today. All right, you had the Jets winning, which again I have no idea how but they beat the Bills today. The Chargers won today. They beat the Bengals. I really think this is going to be Lewis last year. The Bengals are just not living up to any of the expectations that they're supposed to. 49ers won. The Broncos are Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know which team comes every Sunday because they beat the teams that they should lose to and they lose to the teams that they should beat. There's no way they should have lost to the 49ers today. So today's game, I'm going to go back and see what I missed because that game had to be a trash. All right. The Cowboys, they won in overtime, y'all.
Come on. Yes. Say it again, JB.
Yes, they won in overtime. So I really do think the Cowboys are about to take the NFC East. So let's get sad about that. All right. Now, I don't know how this happened. I do understand that Roethlisberger was out with sore ribs and stuff like that. But I was kind of catching the end of this game while we were on air, and the Raiders won. The Raiders beat the Steelers. I think the Steelers are done. I don't see them doing anything. I know the Ravens lost today as well, really? But I just can't see the Steelers going anywhere. I can't believe they lost to the Raiders. I know Eric is very happy somewhere. The Raiders won. My other friend Tim, those Raiders fans, good win, you guys. But I think the Steelers are done.
For real?
Yeah, they have to be. The Lions won today. That means the Cardinals lost. So, the Rams play tonight against the Bears, and then tomorrow you got the Seahawks and the Vikings. The Rams and the Bears game is not going to be a great game. The Rams should really destroy the Bears tonight. However, I would like to see Mac to see how he does and see if he gets a couple sacks tonight. The Vikings, I expect to beat the Seahawks, but that should be a good game. Yeah. The Seahawks they don't really have a great defense anymore, and their O-line is not so great. So Russell Wilson has been running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So it hasn't been a really good year for them, but they still in the playoff hunt. Okay. They may level up. They may level up, But I mean, it's been a pretty decent football season, everybody. I'm only going to come to you about football right now. The only other thing I want to tell y'all about is, yes, y'all already know I told y'all about Melo not being a part of the Rockets anymore. I know everybody was so sad, right? But look, Rockets still losing. Not Melo's fault. They have a coach who does not play defense, who's never played defense. D'Antoni is not the man that's going to get anybody anywhere. We already knew that. They got rid of their two defensive players that played in ED. You got CP3 and Harden, they holding on to the ball way, 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 way too long, and you blaming it all on Melo. Melo was your scapegoat, and now Melo's not there. Tell me why you're losing now. So everybody, that's it. That's it for JB on Sports tonight. We're gonna move on to something next. So everybody, watch next week as the Giants shall win again. It is our time, everybody. Eli is not going out like this. He's gonna show y'all why he is elite.
No, not at all.
Remember, you cannot spell elite without Eli. In my Deion Sanders voice.
Yo, y'all already heard it. Y'all know it. Coming from the best. I told y'all, when it comes to sports, she puts it down.
Yes,
and you heard from my girl, J to the B. On Split the Dots. Yo, listen. So I'm going to talk to y'all tonight as we slide, JB. It was a caller that was calling in. Caller, call back and weigh in on this question. JB.
Yes.
You see a lot of these young people. A lot of these young people nowadays, I've heard like elementary school age say my girlfriend or my boyfriend, and I just want to talk about that tonight. I want to talk about how old do you think that someone should be to date, a child should date. Reason being is because I remember, when you were younger, you say, "Oh, my boyfriend." Your mother put correction there quick. Yo, what? And you knew to stop. You paused. Oh, did I? I think that was the wrong word to say. So you got checked for those things. But nowadays, you don't hear a check. You don't see a check. And so I just want to talk about that because. Is it detrimental for you to allow a kid to say my boyfriend this, my boyfriend that, and when they get older, certain things that could possibly happen? And I want to talk, after we talk about this, I want to talk about this 6-year-old little girl in class the day of her graduation. So yes, JB, talk to me about this thing. My boyfriend this. Kiki says at least 21. I ain't mad at you. That's that right there.
I couldn't have a boyfriend until I was 16. Right. Well, not even say that. I couldn't talk to boys on the phone until I was a certain 16.
age. Yep. Yes.
Then so when I get to be 16, then I got hit with this. I had to bring my brother with me. So then when I turned, so I said I just wait till I'm 17. So then when I turned 17, I had gotten my license and I couldn't be out driving without my brother. Right. So then I was like, you know what, this is just playing with me. Right. But so I mean, I guess it depends on the kid, right? And it depends on the parent. And it depends on what you think a boyfriend is. 5. But no, that's ridiculous. Okay. I mean that's ridiculous. Right.
Because you hear that. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I've heard parents say, "Oh, that's so cute. This isn't a boyfriend. Oh my God, that's so cute." I just think it desensitizes them to what a real boyfriend or girlfriend is. I believe that's like good. maybe 16, like I think 16, 17, high school, age is fine. And again, it's still like going to the movies, going out to grab something to eat, not no overnight stays, not going away with people, or not, living with them, which, people, some people have done.
Yes, JB.
I mean, but I do believe too, it's also to the maturity of your kid. If your kid is 16 and they're not mature enough, then no. Right. You know what I mean? So, but I do think conversations should be had with 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds about, inappropriate touching and things like that to ensure certain things aren't happening, because boyfriend, girlfriend could be covers for other things.
Right, JB. So. Absolutely. And so my other question to you is that how do you talk to talking to some moms or talking to some dads right now, how do they go and approach? Because some people say that it's hard for children to understand. And actually, my brother and I, on the way here, we were having a conversation, and he mentioned something to me like that, which in fact, in some instances, it's right. But I do still believe, because kids are very intelligent, sometimes we don't give them enough credit to be able to to receive some of the things that we do say because we look at their age. So my thing is, I know that it's delicate. So in a place and in a way, how can you have that conversation with the child as such?
Well, I mean, I think the conversation is easy to be had if you talk to your kid like a kid all the time. You're not like, oh, wait, but you're not doing that.
Right.
If you always like,
Yes.
this is this is that, this is this. I think it's easier to have those conversations because you're not playing any games with them. And also, too, it's like nowadays you can't call boys boys and you can't call girls girls half the time anyway. So I think it's definitely a conversation to make sure they're not looking at little girls or little girls or little, whatever they call each other now, because, nowadays they're making it more difficult to say this little boy.
Right.
So I think that's more difficult than having a conversation with a kid about not having a girlfriend.
Right.
And then they were like, well, this is a girl and this is my friend, and then you was like, well, if that's your definition of girlfriend, then that's fine.
Right.
You know what I mean?
JB.
But what do you think a girlfriend is?
Yeah.
Or is it like mommy and daddy? Or is it like, so like those types of ways is how you,
I love that
you go
approach.
about
Yeah,
it,
JB,
right?
that's good.
Because it depends, because you could be thinking something more and they're just saying, oh no, this is a little girl at my school and she's my friend.
Right.
And I have nieces and nephews that say, oh, this is my friend so-and-so, this is my friend so-and-so. It doesn't mean this is my boyfriend.
Right. Absolutely. That's good.
So I think you need to have that line of communication so they just feel very comfortable to talk.
Right.
And if you do that, kids talk and they don't even realize how much they say, as long as you allow them to speak freely.
Yes.
If you hinder them, then that's when they're keeping secrets. That's when they're not telling you everything. That's when they're afraid to come to you.
Right.
And that's when you have problems.
Right. And that's good. I love the fact that you said open lines of communication. And because a lot of times a lot of people scream at the kids. You don't get nowhere with screaming. You know what I mean? And of course, sometimes you're going to have to raise your voice, but if that's your constant, if that's your everyday way that you conversate with your child, of course, that's going to cause them to, absolutely. It's going to cause them to draw back. So thank you for that, JB. I also want to slide into to this part where your voice matters. I need to hear from y'all on this one. I need to hear from y'all. Weigh in. What is the number, JB? Please.
All right. It's 646-233-1302.
Absolutely. Please weigh in on this one, because JB, there was a young girl. She was at her graduation for school. She had on a cap and gown. The teachers was there. The class with her classroom. The classroom that she was graduating from, they were all there. And the little girl gets up, and her parents, everybody is there. And they cheering her on. And she gets on the mic, and she said, when I grow up, I want to be a stripper. The whole room erupts, but it erupts into laughter. And it bothered me. I was so bothered because, for one, I felt like somebody should have corrected the situation right then and there. It doesn't mean you had to make a big to-do about it, but to stop the class, calm down class. Her parents were even there. I mean, the teachers were laughing, and they they kind of grabbed her and kind of hugged her off the stage, and they were laughing. But my thing is that if in fact that child was not corrected, because I didn't see, it was nothing else to the video, but that to me, to see the teachers, everybody, you hear the parent, and the parent was recording it, so you hear everybody in an uproar. And so to me, I was like, yo, what household is she growing up in?
Maybe her mother's a stripper.
2, you know what I mean? 2, it was just like, yo, at the end of the day, do you know what can happen to her, the failures that can happen to her along the way because of
the only
that?
thing is
it was celebrated.
She's 5, and no, they laughed.
It was 6.
Okay, she's 6, right? Nobody really knows what they want to do at 6.
But there was no correction that was given to say, baby, you don't
know that.
Joyce, I know, but
you don't know that. So what I'm saying is, my son, when he was
would
little,
you would have laughed if
you
was in the audience?
My son wanted to be a lion tamer.
would you would have laughed? No, I'm asking you, would you would have laughed if you was a parent?
No, I would have said that's sad.
Exactly.
Right? But again, that's me. Right? Just like I don't laugh when little kids start cursing at their parents.
Not at all.
But there are people who curse. I also don't laugh when little girls be popping their butts up and down, right?
Right.
Because that's not funny to me.
Right.
But to other people that's cute. So what I'm saying is just because this is what she says at 6 doesn't mean this is what she needs to be. So what
Right.
should happen is the teacher should say to her, not publicly maybe, because you don't want to embarrass her. You don't want her to feel subconscious. You don't want her to not say now what she wants to do or what she wants to be. If this is the thing, everybody's going to get mad at her for speaking. So you pull her to the side. You say, well, why do you want to do that? What about being a stripper is what drew you to that? And then she may say, well, I see it on TV. Or she may say, oh, my daddy's always at the strip club. Or he may say, my mommy does it. You get what I'm saying? Then you got to figure out who's saying what around this child and change that. You get what I'm saying? It's because obviously it's not a bad thing in this child's mind because she's either seen it, experienced it, or someone's talking about it, right? But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that's going to be her reality. The teacher heard what was said, so she has an opportunity to change something. The parents heard what was said, that she has an opportunity to speak to the child about something. But at 6, she's not going to be a stripper tomorrow, so there's some time to make some adjustments to that thought process.
You know what, JB? I definitely hear what you're saying, right? Then too, you know, it's always something with me. Then too, my thing is that it was other students in that class that had the opportunity to hear that could have been something that's you can be influenced by. At a young age, regardless of, there are some things that with all of us that have stuck when not corrected. And I'm not saying that it didn't get corrected, but what I saw, it was like, it bothered me because I'm like, yo, like y'all the teachers, y'all the parents, y'all, it's just like everybody like, that's funny to y'all. Like, yo, like that's not funny. That's something that's just like, yo, hold on a minute. And just for you to know, one of my nephews, his father was in the streets at the age of 9. He drinking beer at the age of 9, and sad to say, I was older, you know what I mean? I wasn't crazy older, but I was a teenager. He was drinking beer with me, you know what I mean? He was drinking with me, and he was just like, when he get older, he want to be a gangster. He was like, that's what he wanted to do. You know, I'm drinking and I'm young, but at the same time too, I didn't know no better. I'm just like, yo, he was because he was one of those kids that was just kind of just like a little older than what you would think he was. And so that's how I treated him. You know what I mean? That's how I treated him, like he was a kid that was older. And so with all of that being said, which was very wrong on my part, you know what I mean? And plus I was drinking and I shouldn't have been drinking. So, he grew up to be just what it is that he spoke, because all he said was what he wanted to be. I want to be, when I get older, if you asked him, what do you want to be? I want to be a gangster when I get older. And that was his for sure thing. And when he got older, JB, that's exactly what he did. Yeah. And now he's in jail for 30 some odd years. Yes, you know what I mean?
But what I'm saying to you is that when he said that, what was done?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
But what I'm saying is, what was done? The whole thing that it's not you to do anything. You're not his parent. You get what I'm saying? You weren't his parents.
Right.
So it wasn't on you to fix him.
Right.
It was on his parents. So if he wanted to be a gangster and then the parents helped him do that, if the father took him to the places where he needed to meet people and got introduced him, like, yo, this is my son so-and-so, and introducing them and getting them on the ground level, of course he's going to do that. That's what I'm saying. It's not like the 6-year-old is being brought to the strip club and mommy's teaching her how to grab the pole.
But if mommy laughing about what you say, if you say something like that.
But what I'm saying is, though, there's an opportunity to change the narrative. At 6, you don't have to be what you think you're going to be.
No.
You get what I'm saying? At 6.
But it could be put in. It could.
Yeah, but it can. But what I'm saying is, just like it can be, like you said, that her statement could have been persuasive, right, to others. What if somebody got up and said that could be a doctor? That could have been persuasive to her. So what I'm saying is, it's a very small thing that you saw, right? It doesn't stop there. It didn't have to stop there. Like, it didn't have to be like, I want to be a stripper, and then 15 years later, I'm on a pole. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is what she said, but how do you deal with that? Like, to me, coming at a kid being like, that is the dumbest thing you could ever want to be. Then no, I'm not saying that's what, but I'm just saying to come at some child like that can do the reverse effect.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Now I won't tell nobody what I want to do, and I'll just secretly sneak around and do what I want to do. Right? So my thing is, okay, she said that. All right. I would immediately be like, yo, where did you get that from? What made you want to be a stripper? Like, my thing is, my son used to try to find ways of things he wanted to do that didn't require going to school. So I would always say, what do you want to be when you grow up? It would always be something that he didn't think required going to school. So he wanted to be a lion tamer. So I had talked to him about how important it is to go to school to learn the rules about being a lion tamer. So then he wanted to be a hockey referee. I said, well, you still got to go to school to learn the rules about being a hockey referee. I never said that you can't do these things. You understand what I mean? But I talked to him in a way to the point where he was like, well, I guess I got to go to school for everything. Yes. Ultimately, that's what it was, right? So, and then how many of us are what we said we want to be when we were 6? You're a singer, though.
That's all I ever wanted to be.
Since you've been 6.
Joyce, since I was 6. Since I was probably, when I was 3 years old, I was dancing and singing.
But there's nothing wrong with that. And guess what happened? When you were 6 and you said that, but people did things and put you in positions to allow you to do that, right? You didn't have your mother trying to go against what you wanted to be. You had people helping you get to where you wanted to go.
I was singing and dancing in the living room all the time.
Yes, but you had, what I mean is, you had people helping you get to where you wanted to go. You get what I'm trying to say? You don't become that. You didn't become that 100% or just on a whim. You know what I mean? You singing and dancing and being in certain positions in certain places, your mother allowing you to go places and do things, all were things that helped you get to where you wanted to be. Right? So what I'm saying is, these parents have the opportunity to do just that. You know what I mean? Like, what were the parents supposed to do? Get up and be like, you know what I mean? Like, they probably laughed it off because they was embarrassed, or laughed it off because they were like, they didn't know what else to do.
Joyce, I honestly, to be honest, me personally, I because you know how I am with kids, I would have, as a teacher, I would have said, baby girl, you are too beautiful. No, honey, that's not the occupation that you want. Because you are too beautiful, sweetheart. That's not an occupation that you want to go into. Was it only
for beautiful kids?
No, but I say that to any kid. I say you're handsome. Joyce, I do.
I'm saying.
But no, that's just my approach. That's just my dialect. You know what I mean? I would have said, like, even when I seen like the cussing little boys outside, I say, excuse me. You too handsome for those words to be coming out your mouth. I'll be like, come on, baby, you ain't got to do that. And they'll stop and they'll look at you like you're crazy for a minute. But it's just like, because my thing is that it's hard for me to see something that could potentially hurt a kid. Like, and that's just my heart. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that Pam stepping in is always right. I'm not saying that. But Pam, when I am, like, I'm walking my dog and I hear this young kid cussing, to the point where, Joyce, I was walking and I was like, I cannot. It was just so much. I mean, he was effing and all these other things so much to where I was like, I don't know him. I was like, but no. I said, excuse me. I said, do your mom know you out here cussing like that? I said, you are a handsome young guy. I said, do your mama know you out here talking like that? I said, no. And he just stopped and he's looking at me. And all of his friends, him and all of his friends, they quiet. And at first, he was trying to give me a little fee. But I said, listen, I said, where your mama at? Do you want me to go tell your mom that you out here cussing like that? No. Okay. Well, then you know better. You don't need to be out here cussing like that. That's just me. Like, JB, it's this thing for me, the protector of me when it comes to kids, because I don't want to see them go a road, you know what I mean, that can cause them some stuff that can manifest, you know what I mean, or it can manifest or it can hurt them along the way. So it's just like, I don't know if that's just Pam, you know what I mean, or or what. But that's the makeup that I have when it comes to them, because I'm like, yo, like that thing bothered me. I'm like, yo, like the teacher, like she was the one, like she turned and felt like, I was like, yo, like this is not funny.
I don't know. I'm not saying it was funny. What I'm saying is that I just don't know what else they were supposed to do. Like, do you chastise the kid?
No, not
no. But what I'm saying is, what do you do? But you don't know what happened. So that's what I'm saying is there's a piece of us that don't know. That teacher could have pulled her to the side and said exactly that.
But it's almost like a double standard now, because you laughed at it. It was funny to you, and it was something that was.
You don't want to make the child feel self-conscious. You don't want the child to feel like they did something wrong. I mean, there's a way sometimes that you have to talk to kids. Right. So I don't know what they expected.
Delicate
at that point. Yeah. But like, what I'm saying is you can't control the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I'm saying is I have no idea what that teacher said to that child, but I am certain that they didn't let that child go ahead thinking that they're going to be a stripper. Like, I'm just certain of that.
I will hope so.
Because just like if somebody wanted to be a drug dealer, that used to be the thing. Kids wanted to be drug dealers because what? Drug dealers had the money, the girls in the cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no teacher is going to allow some kid to really think that that's a viable option.
I will hope so, JB. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's sad, because nowadays my brother just recently was telling me that in the classroom, the teacher told his daughter that spelling wasn't you don't really have to spell the word correctly. My brother said, what type of foolishness is that to pass the class that they don't have to spell the words correctly? He said, do you know when they go to college that they have to write an essay to get into the college? He said, so he said to me tonight, he said, what sense does that make? There was a time when, and I'm not saying this about every teacher, but there was a time, JB, when we cared about the children. Nowadays, it seems like people they rather pass your kid to get them out of the class so that they either won't, if they're a headache, they won't be a headache. And this little girl, she has some sass to her. Don't think that she didn't. She's a little sassy, because when she got up, you could see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's probably because she's getting it from her mama.
Right. You could see the sassy, the whole that on her. And it was just like, for my brother to say, like, to me personally, I think that it's just like, we just got to get back to the point where we care. And it's not to say that they don't care, JB, but more than just the you're in the class and you get on. Like, I remember Pastor Didi, you know what I mean? She being a teacher, she doing things that a teacher don't do. Combing their hair, getting them things that they need personally, doing all types of things for the kids to make them feel good about themselves, to know that they can be more than what they are in this moment. You know what I mean? In the moment,
yes.
You don't see that
but
nowadays.
Think about it like this. Like with the sassy little girl that wanted to be a stripper, right?
Yes.
Cardi B, stripper. Black China, stripper.
You're right.
All these people on TV, this is what they say that they are.
Wow.
And they're now on television. They're now celebrated. I'm not get twisted. She's not a stripper now, right?
Yeah.
But these are all people who talked about being a stripper. What's that? Jasmine or whatever her name is. Stripper. All these people, stripper. Sleep with someone famous, have a child, but stripper, right?
Jesus.
So, and they're making a living being a stripper. So it could be what they watch on TV. It could be what they celebrate. It could be who their parents listen to. It could be a lot of reasons why people want to be a stripper, right?
Right.
Before, if you think about it, remember you had this was before Cosby was, arrested for what he's arrested for. But the Cosby Show, you had black people not wanting to watch the show, saying it was unrealistic. Why wasn't it realistic to have two doctors?
Wow.
Two educated women, a man and a woman that was still married, loved each other, and had children. Why was that unrealistic? Wow. That was unrealistic. But New Jersey Drive, right on point.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so my whole thing is like, we create this, right? We allow these things to be. We celebrate these things. Like, I listen to Cardi B, but I have not purchased a record. I have not downloaded her stuff on anything because one, that's just not who I am. But it's like also too, like I don't support like the whole Black China mess because what are they famous for?
Yeah,
they're famous for what?
Sleeping with somebody.
And so to me, it's like we celebrate these people, we put them on platforms, and then we wonder why our children look up to them. We wonder why females want to be them. We wonder why other women follow in their footsteps. Because, what again, this is a quick way to some money. They don't have to go to school for 8 years for this.
Jesus.
They don't have to continue to pay for education. They don't have large debts. They don't have the level of debt and of school loans and stuff that others have, right? Because they know how to shake their behinds, they know how to get a couple dollars, and they know how to sleep with the right person, they know how to have a child, and now they know how to get on TV. So we created some of these paths by making these people famous for nothing.
Wow, JB.
Right? So in the case of the school, so I'm not sure what degree the teacher said the spelling doesn't matter, but if you have a child that's not able to write a sentence or not write a paragraph or not write a paper because they can't spell one word, then maybe she's saying that, okay, if her spelling is off, as long as she still writes, I get the gist of it. We can correct the spelling. You know what I mean? We can work on the spelling. You got all these different things that can help you with your spelling, right? But if you don't understand the concept of writing at all, or because you can't spell, you don't write, you know what I mean? These could be the things that I don't know what context that statement was made, right? Because I have a niece. Her name's Taylor. I love you, Taylor. She doesn't like to write, right? And I went down to see them, and she went to tell me. They went to tell on her. They were saying she was getting in trouble because she doesn't write. And my little nephew TJ said, all she does, Joycey, is stare at the blank piece of paper. And she tells me, no, I don't. She says, I stare at the paper after I wrote one sentence. She said, because Joycey, I am a thinker. And I was like, what? Listen, she said, I have to think about what I need to write.
Yes.
And then she was like, and if I can't, and she said, and when I think of words to write, and if I can't spell them, I can't write them. Right. So I was cracking up, and I laughed at her, and I had told her, don't worry about, and I said these exact words. So I said, don't worry about the spelling. Write what it is you're trying to say, and then we can correct the spelling. And these were my words to her, because she wrote grouping instead of going, right? And I said, well, see, now that we've read this sentence, we know that this word is spelled wrong. Now we can go to Google. Now we can go to the dictionary. Now we can work on going, right? But if you just stare at a piece of paper, we can't work on anything. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know what context that was done, but I'm telling you, I love you, Taylor. I'm so sorry.
They passing the students, Joyce.
But Taylor is in the second grade? I think second grade. And she was just like, Joycey, I am a thinker. And I just fell out laughing because I love each one of my nieces and nephews. They have a tremendous, like, they have this crazy character, and it's just like they're their own people. And she can talk to you in such a way that you think you're talking to an adult, right? But she doesn't write, right. And her sister is a person who doesn't do a lot of talking, but she does a lot of writing. So it's like, you know, sometimes you got to cater to the kid and figure out the child and be able to push past it, right? But if you are stuck on spelling and you don't do anything, then you're not. So I mean, like, I'm so thankful for Google. I be at home like, Google, how do you spell?
Come on. Yes.
Or I'll type a word and do a spell check in a minute, because spelling was never my thing, right? So yes, I did struggle with writing and stuff like that because spelling was never my thing, right? But I had to figure it out. I got through it. I got it done, you know, and now I'm just so thankful to all this wonderful technology that I look like I am an amazing speller.
Come on, JB, you better say this. You better say this. Yes, Taylor. I'm a thinker too, Carmen.
Yes.
Come on.
I love you, Taylor.
Yes. Oh, yes. You know what, JB? Tonight has been really, really just amazing eye opener. You know, and I'm definitely most grateful for your views, because they helped me to expand. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I will be like, I'm so dead on about certain things sometimes, and it's just like, I'm like, okay, cool, I get it. You know what I mean? I can understand. All right. You know what? I could be like, all right, okay, cool.
But there's nothing wrong with your point of view, though.
Yes,
nothing
JB.
at all.
Yes,
and there's nothing wrong with it.
You know what I mean? To make me to understand, because I am so like when it comes to kids, it's just like, because, and it's more because of the things that I've been through, that I'm such a protector in that place, and I want to see them be okay. I want to see them have every opportunity, you know what I mean? Every opportunity that was taken from me, in a sense, in some areas of my own life, so, you know what, JB? We're going to slide because we come into, I know that's right, Dr. Google is awesome. You better say that.
Yes.
Listen, as we are coming to a close of Pam's World tonight, thank y'all again for weighing in. And, we going to slide to, what would JB say? We definitely, that's our pastor, she holds us down. Dorothy Denise, always in the building. We turn to her and we say, all right, Pastor, what would you say tonight?
Yes,
and in the meantime and in between time, JB has been holding it down. And JB, I'm going to ask you just tonight about this, about this thing called love. And I know we've touched on it plenty of times and many a times. And it's something that's thrown around a lot. You know what I mean? But my question is going out tonight is that how do you know? How does a person know that they are standing on love? How do you know that you're standing on love? Because love is thrown around. You know what I mean? So what is your take on standing on love? Because love, to so many people, it's love is concrete. Love is something that doesn't break. Love is something that that is truthful, something that is real, something that is not a facade. And because of that, and I hear this word a lot. And honestly, today in some areas of my own life, I heard that word a lot. And me personally, I'm learning. I was very fast to respond to the word love. And I've come to a place where, because I'm growing in God and I'm learning what love really is, JB, is that when that word is thrown around, be careful what you respond to, because it's not always what we hear. It's not, because sometimes it's things to tickle your ears. And I've always been the tickle ear person. And because I didn't, because I was so broken, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I want to know tonight the stance, to help somebody with the stance on love, because I had to learn, and I thank God that I'm still learning, and I believe that I'll continue to learn more and more about real love. Yeah. It's a difference. So JB, can you help me tonight on that?
All right. Love. I don't know how to answer that 100%, because there's all types of love, right?
But
so
true.
But there's still all types of love. Like you got romantic love, you know, like just the unconditional love, just loving people.
Unconditional love, like the unconditional.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, I don't know how to answer that on that level, because the only person that I know that can love somebody unconditional is pretty much God.
That's it.
Right. So like,
can you take a stance on that then? When you take your stance on unconditional love, like what are the, how am I trying to say this then? What are the attributes? Like JB, what are the things that a person can look for when it comes from love? Like when you can see that it's not this false
but
thing.
See, that's the thing. When you say unconditional love, that, like I said, the only person I feel as though that can truly give that is God. Right.
And he tells us to love people. We got to love, but have agape love for one another too.
But unconditional love is just that, unconditional, meaning you can treat me like dirt and I love you. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not sure how to answer your question, because when you say unconditional love, there's no conditions on that. I love you because I love you, and that's just it. So there's no right, there's no wrong, there's no, you can do whatever you want and I'm still loving you.
But when it comes to love, JB, my thing is that I think that we can get it twisted, because people say I love food. I love And I think that sometimes we use it out of context.
Yeah, but see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I think love is more than, I think there's different types of love. Like there's more than just unconditional
brotherly love.
But I'm saying it's more than just unconditional love. Like if you tell me like about a romantic love or a friendship love or stuff like that, those are all different things. And I can speak
But it's a truth in it, is it not?
Yeah, but still, like even I love my best friend, but there's some conditions in that. I can't treat her like dirt and expect her. You get what I'm saying? You that's all I'm saying is like the only unconditional love is God.
Okay.
Like God will love you unconditionally. Like regardless of what you do, what you don't do, whatever, he still loves you. Now don't get twisted. There could be consequences to the things that you don't do or whatever, but he still loves you unconditionally. Like there's no condition on his love. If you talk about him, if you talk dirt about him, whatever, he still loves you, right? Now, there's no one that you can do that to in the natural that is going to be down with that. Now, I could love you, but the love is different. Like, I love you from over there. Like, if you talking about me and you kicking my back in, I can do what God says. I can love you. I cannot hate you and all those wonderful things. But I am not the same. It's not the same type of love as the love that I have for my best friend. It's not the same type of love that I have for my son. You know what I mean? I'm not willing to go out of my way the same way that I probably would do for them, for someone that I love from a distance. So that's what I'm saying. That to me, when you're speaking unconditional, there's only one person that loves like that.
You know what, JB? I've had my back kicked in. I have and this is when I've learned how to be a friend, because there was a point in my life when I didn't know how to be a friend. So I used to kick people back in, whatever. That was just, it was ever, you kick, I kick, and that's what it was. But when I met love, when I met God, and I gave my relationship, when I gave my life to Christ, love really came in and loved me. And I've had my back kicked in. I've been stepped on. I've been talked about, and I still stood in love. I stood.
Yeah, but then are you really standing in love?
Yeah, you know what, JP? Yes, you know what? I was standing in a place of love, because even love
for who and love for what?
Love for the people, like love for the person, love standing in a place. It's just like how many times should you forgive your brother? 70 times 70. That means it's an ongoing thing, and it's just like then there comes times when God will separate. But it's just like, yo, there have been times that I've been kicked by numerous people, and I still continue to love, to show the love of God, to continue to say, you know what, okay, I've been hurt, I've been beat down by people's words, I've been taken advantage of, and all of those things.
That's the piece I'm getting at, right? Because at the end of the day, then that's not what I consider love.
But there is, look at Jesus though. I'm looking at his life and how he was kicked in the back, and how he was this and how he was that, and even Judas. All Judas had to do was repent, and Jesus would have forgave him. But Judas couldn't find that place within himself to repent, because, you know what I mean, he didn't find that place to repent. But all he had to do was go and to repent, and Jesus would have forgiven him. But that's just who he was, you know what I mean? Who he is, and you know what I mean?
I'm not Jesus,
right?
And that's what I'm saying. The only person that I think, and I could be 100% wrong, right? The only person is God, right? Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit, unconditional love, right? Now the whole thing is,
he calls us to have it though.
He calls us to love, yes,
to agape love.
Yes, but loving somebody does not mean that they have to be in my space. Does not mean that I need to be abused by them. Does not mean that I need to give them the ability to have access to me. All of these things is things that I'm talking about, right?
But sometimes, remember what you said earlier about Peter. Sometimes that he may call it can be a cause for that.
Correct.
For them too, they kicking you in, and God saying, go back and get them.
Yes. Now that's different, right? But you saying standing on love, like somebody doing things to me and me just standing there being like, I love you. No, not and standing on love, meaning like standing on him. Like when you said when I say standing on love, standing on, like you said it right off the back, is that God's love. That's it, and that's the only way that we're able to. I feel like we're able to embrace these things. You know what I mean? Like to embrace when somebody do you dirty, and it's just like you can still reach out and say, the thing is, I love you. I can see that. To me, there's no need for me to say that. Like, all right, okay. If somebody has done me wrong,
Right.
okay, they did me wrong.
Right.
I've learned this person is no longer, like, if this person was in my inner circle, if this person was whatever.
Your inner circle.
If they're in my, doubt it.
They in your
I
inner
doubt
circle.
it.
They
But
in-
if somebody was in my inner circle and they did me wrong,
right.
they would be out of it. Because there's a difference between do me wrong and we having disagreement. It's a difference. It's a difference. So I'm talking about like really did something that was detrimental to me, right? They would be out of my inner circle, right? And not being in my inner circle doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean I don't care. I have family that I don't speak to all the time, but I love them. If something was to go on, I would be there. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If they needed prayer, I would be praying. If they needed things, I would do them. You get what I'm saying? But does that person will not have access to me?
But sometimes
that person won't have access.
It can call for access, is what I'm saying. And because I look at God's love for the children of Israel, and I'm gonna go Bible on y'all real quick. In the book of Hosea, if you read it, there was a point in time when Hosea's wife cheated on him.
I remember.
And God told him to go and to get her.
Correct.
Can you imagine? She's in his inner circle.
Hey,
and it's just like she's a prostitute. And
They're happy
God
about it.
said, yep, go and get her and love her. So I wanted to ask the question. It's because of the fact that I think the word sometimes is used very loosely. And it's just like there are different extremes. Like you said, there are different extremes and different kinds of love, brotherly love, relational love between friends, brotherly is brotherly love, is agape love, is between a man and a woman as far as marriage, the sexual love, relational love in that area. And I believe it's like two other ones. I can't, family love is another one. And then the last one I'm unsure of. Okay. And with all of that being said, is that I think that there's many facets, and sometimes it calls for different extremes. And I think that if we stop and really begin to build on the right foundation, which is love, which is God, I think that the word will not be used so loosely. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes we fall for, I'll say myself, I fell for the L word, for the love word, without really knowing love.
See,
you know what I mean?
And that's my thing, is like, to me,
and God is love.
To me, when you speak about God, like unconditional love, I only think that comes from God. So I'm taking, and I'm hearing what you're saying, but I don't think I'm speaking the same way that you are.
Okay.
So, but for me, like relationship love, all these other types of love, there's a condition behind it. There's a level of respect. There's something that I would expect to receive from you. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Common decency, common courtesy, all of these types of things. I would expect the same level of love in return. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I love my best friend, right? Now, I would expect for her to have my back, but I would expect her to be tough with me. I would expect all these things because that's our relationship is based on that, right? Now, I wouldn't expect her to kick my back in. Right? But if she did kick my back in, she wouldn't be somebody that I would turn away from so quickly, because we've been really good friends. I would try to figure out why, what,
So
and
why
how.
would you turn away from somebody else?
Because they haven't earned that with me.
All right, listen, but there's a question that was asked to you. But how else can you be patient, kind, long-suffering, etc., / express that aspects of love with someone you keep at a distance?
Yes, because I can be patient and all that stuff with them over there. Like, and it's no problem with that. Right? So they don't have to, what I mean by over there, I mean like they don't have to be in my everyday. Does that make sense? Like, they don't have to be in my everyday.
But what if they're supposed to, and
But
you
I
just don't want to deal with it?
But what I'm saying is, if someone's supposed to be in my everyday,
Right.
knowing me, knowing
Right.
how I'm made up, all of these wonderful things that God knows about me,
Right.
they would come a different way.
No, but I'm saying,
Or
no,
God would have to tell me himself.
right, exactly, and
But
and
if
that's
that
what I'm
doesn't
saying.
happen, they would be over there.
Right, and I get it, JB, because nobody wants somebody to come in and to be, and I think sometimes there's a possibility, just looking at the life.
But Pastor, you know that's true.
I'm looking at the life of just Gomer, and the way that Hosea had to love her.
Yes,
Like,
but think
she
about
was-
this. He went and got her from the strip place, from the
Yeah,
whorehouse, right? He did. He went and got her from the whorehouse, but then he went on the road.
Right, but
He went on the road and left her home.
but she had kids.
But,
They
but
had
what I'm
kids
saying
together,
is,
Joyce.
think
He still
about.
went
Yes,
and got
I'm
her,
not
though.
saying he did. He went and got her, right?
And they still
But
have relations.
But no,
You
no,
gotta- you
no,
gotta-
no.
you gotta love
Wait.
Come
When he
on.
went and got her, he went back on the road, so he wasn't there with her. When he went and got her from the no. At first, remember when he went to get her from the little whorehouse, he brought her back home, and then he went on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So he loved her from a distance.
I can't.
And then when he got back,
I can't.
they had their their rekindling, right? But he did love her for a minute from a distance.
So-
he had to make sure, I think, that
Okay.
she
I'll let
wasn't
you
going
get
back
this.
and forth
Sorry.
to the whorehouse. You know what I'm trying to say? He had to make sure she was delivered from the whorehouse. And I'm not saying he did what God told him to do.
Mm-hmm.
He went and he got her,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went on the road.
Okay, but so and I'm gonna let you have that. So for a moment, sometimes you got to stop and breathe
And
for a
that's
minute.
what I'm saying.
Listen,
Over
you
there.
got to stop and breathe for a minute. But then they had some kids, they had some babies, so they was intimate. He was with his wife, and regardless as to
But after.
what the kicking of the back and all of those things. So
But after.
I'm saying, like, at some point there are some times when that I think we confuse feelings with the practical definition of the word all the time. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that sometimes the feelings of what we have sometimes
But love can be a feeling as well. It's not just a word. So you know what I mean?
it's
Like
not-
it's not just
a-
a word, but like love should come with some feelings as well.
that's secondary though.
I'm not saying that they're not, but what
Right.
I'm saying is that love is not absent of feeling.
Absolutely. Okay. You are absolutely right. You're right, because that's just like you robotic. It's a robot. Like if you can't feel anything, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
JB. I get that.
and my whole thing is
You're
like
right.
I'm not.
But not the feelings first,
Yes,
because that's how you get jacked up. I've been there so many times.
But very,
Like, ugh.
very, 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 very true.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to think about it like this. It's like God wants you to be your best.
Amen.
God wants you to God wants you to know that you're worthy of this. You're worthy of greatness. You're all these wonderful things. Why would He want you to have someone in your life that is kicking your back inconsistently? Why would He want that person to be in your inner circle?
Not consistently.
No.
But yeah, I've
If
had some
once
consistent kicks.
Somebody has kicked your back in multiple times, and you keep taking them back, and you keep telling them that, oh, I love you, and still, I love you still, I love you still. Yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. I still love you. At a point, what will happen is you've told them that it's okay to do this.
Yeah, to treat you that way.
He's treating you, or she's treating you exactly as you allowed them, and God wouldn't want that for you. So to me,
So you wouldn't give anybody an opportunity to mess up? They don't have an opportunity?
consistently, no.
I'm saying, do they have an opportunity? 1, 2?
Not. It takes a while. That's why I said my inner circle. It's hard to get to my inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get into that inner circle,
Mhm.
if you do some things that are contrary to what I believe an inner circle person should do, you are outside the circle.
One time?
Some people one time, some
Wow.
people more than once, but some people one time, and it's not. And see, the thing is, it's like, let me say this: some people may have thought they were in the circle, but they really weren't. So when the one thing happened, they took it as me being harsh.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, though,
Amen.
you tell people how to treat you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you allow certain things to just continuously happen, like it's okay, then they don't see nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. And the whole thing is, if like everybody is not meant to be, like everybody's not meant to take this journey with you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we want to be so inclusive, and we want people to like us, and we want everybody to love us, and we want everybody to be happy, and we just so happy and concerned about everybody else, we forget about ourselves.
Yeah.
We forget about what God has called us
Yeah.
to do. We forget
That's
about
good.
where God has called us to go. We forget about all the things that we were purposed to do, because we're trying to satisfy and make everyone else happy. And to me, God has taken me out of that piece where I'm overly concerned
Oh, God.
about
I love
everyone
that.
else more so than what He has for me.
Yes.
Because I am no good to no one if I'm not good to me. Did you get what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
yeah.
Is if I'm not whole, if
Yeah.
I'm not complete, if I'm not working
That's
on me,
good.
if I'm not doing what's necessary, I could love you. But if I'm worth this much because I've done expended everything in me trying to please and satisfy everyone else and make everyone else happy and make everyone else feel loved, that I'm not loved, that was not working, and that's not God, and that's just fact. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely, JB. And you know what? I definitely can say that the things that you just said, those are some of the things that I had to learn because I didn't have balance. It was just like I was just getting dogged everywhere. Just kick me again, dog. That would hurt even more. That
but
hurt.
at a point, it's
Oh,
not
that hurt.
They don't
Oh,
even
that hurt.
they don't even realize what they're doing.
Yeah, they
because
don't.
they're just being how they've always
Absolutely,
been.
they just being what it is, and it's just like. But now, you know what I mean. I thank God that finally, I not only did do I have the courage that God has given to me, but I got my voice. You know what I mean? I got a voice that it was always an inner voice. You know what I mean? It's like my inner voice has become the outer voice now, and it's talking, and a lot of people are very unhappy about it.
And guess
but
what?
I feel great.
But guess what?
About it?
Guess what?
Yes.
They'll be all right,
Amen.
and they'll be over there,
You're right.
and you're
You're
going to
right.
love them from over there.
Absolutely.
Right,
And that's
and
what
then they'll get to understand what that
Yes.
love feel like, what that love
Yes.
is, and where that love is going to keep them.
absolutely.
And then they'll be all right.
Absolutely.
But the
JB.
thing is, if you love them more than you love you,
yeah.
then you catering to them and not to what God has going to call you to
Right.
do, and then you're going to be no good to what you
Right.
need to be doing.
Right. Did you read my text message last night? No, you did not. Because I
What
said
text message?
no. Because I
Oh.
text somebody. I text somebody last night, and
I'm
I
not saying
said
no
I
text
finally choose me. And that's
See?
what my thing was. I was like, I finally choose me. And so with that, it's just like, JB, like I do understand your perspective. It's just like, you know what, sometimes it's just like, one thing about it is that I know that you tough. I know that you real. I know that you tough. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I know that if not for nothing, it's just like you are one that, like, you an observer, you see a lot, and I get it, you know. And it's just more or less when it comes to love, it's just like, all right, okay, is that balance? You know what I mean? That balance there. Okay, JB said, yo, if you mess up, you in my inner circle, you mess up, like, yo, I ain't trying to get rid of you, but I'm just like, yo, listen, what you did, not cool, so don't do that again to me. But there's a possibility that you might or not, you wasn't even in the circle.
Correct.
You wasn't even in the inner circle, so you had your own.
You was auditioning.
Yeah, you was. You was
auditioning.
It was
auditioning. You just
for
got
the
a strike,
circle.
my friend.
Come on, and it's just like, so with that, it's just like I understand. You know what
But
I mean?
I have
Like,
a question for you, real
understand.
quick.
Yes, come on with it.
One question for you.
Yes.
What about the unconditional love to yourself?
Who? Dog, JB, that's dope, because I never thought of anything like that before. Like, that's like, oh shoot, and that's real, because it's just like, if I don't love all of me, how can I expect anybody else to love all of me and to take care of? If I don't take care of me, how can I expect anybody else to take care of me? So wow, that's very powerful.
But that's where the start is. Like,
Yeah.
and I was having a conversation with somebody
That's dope.
today,
That's dope,
and
JB. That's dope.
the question came up about, you know, this person was so concerned about everybody else and everybody else's issue more so than the issues that affect them on a daily basis. So I was asking them, where's the love for you?
Right.
Like, you know, this is not selfish. This is not none of these things, but you're no good to anybody if you don't love you.
Right, JB. Wow. And that's good. That's real good, JB. And I want to leave on this note. Stephanie said that there was a young girl last year that died from surgery at the age of 23. She began having surgery at age 17. She had over 100 surgeries. Jesus, have mercy. She said the girl was an Instagram model too.
Yeah,
Lord
and,
have
and
mercy.
think about it. How
Wow.
many of y'all following these women out here?
Wow.
They got these little tiny
Mercy,
ways,
God.
and you think they got it from squats.
Wow. Jesus.
Y'all got to be careful. You know, some things are just not meant to be, right? And some
Yeah.
people are forcing the habits. They are having these surgeries. They're going underneath the knife, and you're starting to see more people, even celebrities, coming out saying they regret what they've done to them, to their bodies, right? Like K. Michelle is one person that comes up, but there's so many people are coming up saying they regret what they've done. But you know what? They regret what they've done after they made the money. You know, they're not turning back the money after they've had these butt implants and all these types of things. And now they have these little girls trying to mimic them and be them. So it is something that you have to be really okay with you and realize that, hey, you know, there were very beautiful black, white, Spanish women that were making money and doing certain things before surgery was popular. So best believe that trend is going to be coming back again very soon.
Right. I guess we got some music pumping in the background right about now on Pam's World. So what we gonna do is that we gonna get ready to fade up out of here, because I guess that's our time to go. That's our cue.
Yes.
We over. Yes. We over time right about now, so we gonna get out of here. If y'all can hear it, so we moving a little bit. We gonna get up out of here. All right, y'all. Peace, love, hair grease.
Amen.
We love y'all, and we thank y'all
next
for
week.
tuning into Pam's World. It has been real. It has been good. And just to leave y'all with this, love yourself. If loving you is wrong, don't be right.
I don't want to be right.
Come on, JB. You better say it.
I know that song.
Is loving yourself is wrong. Come on. Listen, love you all day long. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for viewing, and we look to be with y'all next week, Lord willing.
Yes.
Have a great night. Mwah. Love y'all. We love you, Pastor.
Yes, we do. We miss you.
We miss you a lot. So good to see you back in service today.
Yes, God.
Come on, somebody. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do it here on Pam's World. I'm about to put this joint on a video, and we going to slide.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Next week.
Later.
Yeah.